Today we'll talk about dictatorship, democracy, and the material. The material that I want to use for this class is taking from our class. So everyone who had attended our classes over the last 2 years can understand every word I'm saying. So what can we say in this wonderful day of inauguration about those topics of democracy, dictatorship, presidency? What does the Torah tell us about things? So, as Noahide, as we look at the event of today, what should run in our mind, or what would we advise the president, if so to speak? The first thing, I'm just drop topics from the classes that we've had, and I go over that with you, and all those topics related to the topic of what I just said: kingship, dictatorship, democracy. So, what does the Torah says about it? Amazingly, the first thing that the Torah ever does from the beginning is addressing that issue. Because what is the first thing that the Torah says? Elohim, the judge, he built the sixth day as a builder, as a judge, as a dictator. He said, let it be, and things happen. Let it be grass, and grass happened. Let the luminary hang in the sky, and it did. And so forth. And when he said, let it be, nobody raised any objection. He discussed it with no one else. He is a sole ruler, and he did whatever he wanted. Of course, he had a plan, but he acted as a dictator who issued rule orders day after day. 32 times his name appears. Each time he is a dictator. Now, and as such, the Torah makes the point that he created the sixth day very efficiently, successfully. And at the end of each day, he deemed the day, and he said it was good. He was pleased. Nothing was wrong in his eyes. And at the end of each day, if something was superfluous anymore, it was not good anymore for the next day, he got rid of it. If an item, a creature was not good anymore, he eliminated the creature without blink of an eye. There was no mercy. Okay? And that's how he created nature and the universe. 6 day after day. As a dictator, efficiently, and he was pleased. Now, at one point, the Torah says that the sixth day, he wanted to create a creature that will be not just good, but very good. The new creature called Adam will not be as good as all other animals that evolve, if you wish, through the evolution. But this creature will be somehow different. He may be part of it, he is still part of the extension of the evolution, but he needs to be very good. How would he be very good? So Elohim, we'll talk about it in a minute, but certainly Elohim made certain concessions to make sure that the Adam will be very good, to show Adam how Adam can be very good. So first of all, he stepped down from the throne of dictatorship, and instead of giving another issue, another decree, he could have said, let it be Adam. Oh, no, he didn't do that. He spoke in plural, modesty. Let us make Adam. He looked around to whom he was talking, to anyone in the chapter there. So he stepped down from the position or the status of dictatorship and became a king who consulted others. The name king in Hebrew, melech, means by itself, and nimlach means he consulted. We, the king of England, means I am not only royalty, but it infers that we, the king of England, are not ruling alone. I have a whole counselors around me. Here, Elohim not only did he spoke to the counselor, everyone in the chapter, but the counselor were all his own subject, the thing that he created. So he consulted like superior. He wanted to show Adam that the superior will consult the inferior. He did it to show Adam how to rule, how to become very good. How to become very good. You step down from dictatorship and you become a king who consults with his own subject. Oh, it reminds me, democratic, I would call it. Democratic ruler. So to become very good, Elohim first stepped down and he said to Adam, if you follow dictatorship, you will destroy yourself. Why? Because we know the story. We know that had Elohim not created Adam, had he pursued his own first plan, inclination, had he continued to rule a dictatorship, the next step on the sixth day, and the end of the sixth day, he would have destroyed the whole universe. He would be fed up and start a whole new universe. Who said that? Rashi. So he says to Adam, if you want, yes, you can become a dictator like me, and you can rule very efficiently, successfully, but at the end, you may destroy yourself. Think about dictators like Mao Zedong. At the end of his life, he almost destroyed China. Think about other dictators, Stalin. Not to say about the devil Hitler, that at the end of the last few days, He issued orders after orders to destroy Germany, who betrayed him, to bomb all the bridges and the factories. Luckily, there were some generals, only few, that refused to deliver the order, risking their lives. And that order of Hitler was not implemented. But the dictator would end up, despite his previous success, they will ruin their own kingship, own dictatorship. Yes, during the dictatorship, train set up on time. There were no strikes, no inflation, and people go to work, or there is order. And you can achieve a lot of things. But dictatorship will ruin itself. If you want to see the next day, Elohim said, step down, consult your own subject. You see it in the Torah, follow the same thinking. The Torah says in the Deuteronomy, sometimes said you should appoint on yourself a king. What I mean, you should. Who is a sovereign here? So the sovereign is the public. The public appoints, elect the king, the president, only that on you, so you give him authority that you can fear him. But the authority that endowed to the king, to the president, is from you. You are the sovereign. You elect him. Not only that, the Torah also says that the king cannot be an alien. He must be elected from among the people because he needs to listen to them. If he is an alien, he may not understand exactly what their dreams and aspirations are. A king should be attuned to the subject wishes. Only then mankind can see the next day. So, but here comes the next question. So we understand that the system of the democracy is important in the eyes of the Torah. But that's not enough. To be very good, yes, Elohim stepped down. But stepping down and showing Adam how to rule himself is not enough. By the way, let me go back before on the story. You know, when he spoke in plural, the angel asked him, appalled, and said, "Our king, you have been talking. The first time we hear you talking in plural. Why do you do that? Don't you risk idolatry? People may think that there are more than one God." So Elohim says, yeah, I know that I risk by speaking, I hope by stepping down and becoming democratic, I risk the option of idolaters who will rebel against me and think that I'm more than one and so on. I take the risk because teaching Adam modesty, how to rule, is so important that I risk idolatry. Imagine, the first thing that the Bible teaches you, before you stand on a pulpit, before you go on the hill and shout in the name of the Bible, this and this and this, the first item that the Bible teaches us is the importance of overcoming our ego to rule like with the iron fist as a dictator, and to step down and build a democracy. And the king, the president, the one who rules, should listen, should be able to listen, is basically get his power from his own subject, and so on. By the way, that's the reason why we enthrone ourselves in Rosh Hashanah, our king. We give him the power to be the king, our king. Have you thought about it? We human must accept him as our king because he is a democratic king. He is not imposing himself on us. We elect him as if we are the sovereign here, as if. If we don't, if he remains a dictator without asking our permission to rule over us, without us electing him as our king, he will destroy the universe. Okay, so now we talk about the system, but it's not enough just to be democratic. The question is, what kind of values this king will have? Here comes the story of Nimrod and the Tower of Babylon. In short, after the flood, Nimrod was elected by the people, by the 70 nations, to be their democratic king. You know, the whims and the inspiration of every nation. If you remember our classes on Nimrod, his father Cush sent him all over when he was young to learn what the people want. And each nation thought that so he was able to accommodate himself to each nation so much to understand them that each one thought is ours. And as Midrash says that, that's what the Midrash says. And finally, when he came to power, he understood everything that's going on around him. And he was the ultimate democratic king until a new technology was discovered, the break. They start to build endeavor, like the Babylonian Tower. All the huge endeavor. Now people flock and there was order, society. Now there are ranks, hierarchy. You are responsible on the floor, the other one on the corridor, the other one on the wing. So now they have uniforms, they have ranks, one is a general, the salute, there is a hierarchy, and on top of the hierarchy is Nimrod. And his word became the law. He became a dictator without lifting a sword. As the towers went up and up and up to the sky, his position went up to the sky. And he ruled he ruled mankind. Is a almost holy dictator without lifting it, without police. And people love to flock to him. People love to leave the farm and join the endeavor they meet other people. Look at the story of the pyramid. This is what it was built, not by slaves. It was built by young people flocking from all over Egypt to participate. The same thing with Mesopotamia. Nobody forced them. And Pharaoh was on the top. And Nimrod was on the top. And everything went fine until something happened. So from democracy, one of the dangers of democracy that it can turn to the dictatorship. And the danger of that, what happened, that he was pleased, and the endeavor was successful, went up and up and up. They almost went almost to the atmosphere until Hashem saw that something is wrong. It says there that Hashem intervened. Merciful one intervened. Why? Because Hashem said already to you, they can do anything they want. If they follow this endeavor like Elohim, the same thing as Elohim. Being dictator by itself is not wrong. We can achieve many things. It's a verse, it's a chapter 30, verse 7 there. They can achieve anything they wanted. So what was wrong? Why the merciful one was angered? You know the story. Because as the tower went up and up and up, it became cold. It grew up on account of the individual who fell. And when people fell from the 10th floor, his comrade wept not for the person, but for the material that was lost when he fell. It became cruel. So when Hashem intervened, Hashem disrupted this authority by disabling this communication down the line. He spoke and nobody understood, and they spoke and he didn't understand. So the communication was lost, and the dictatorship was built on orders and the memos. If you are unable to read it, it's gone. So so now we go back to the story. So from that we can learn, first of all, that you can, if you choose to be a dictator, you can achieve a lot. But it becomes cruel. First of all, you can destroy yourself. And even if you switch to even if you reach democracy, you have to be careful that democracy will not be spoiled by corporations that build huge endeavors that can build a fleet to fly to Mars. AI, we are living in an area that unbelievable. We are the Babylonian Tower. We reach the sky now. The AI and all these computers. Every day there is a new innovation. You don't know. I don't even know what kind of living we have now. What kind of everything we knew, there is physics and everything is gone by the wind. AI, electric car, robots. Robots can function better than mankind. It's unbelievable, all that in just few years. We are reaching the sky. We can achieve anything we want. But we have to be careful not to arrange Hashem and her values. And when I'm talking about Hashem and her values of compassion and mercy and all that, I'm not talking about philanthropic action. I'm not talking that somebody who's wealthy, he should give money to build hospitals and take care of the poor. That's fine, but that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about building our Babylonian tower along with the value of Hashem. Not stepping over other people that find themselves suddenly falling out and being pushed out from the endeavor, find themselves at a young age without a job, and so on. We need to take care of other people if people are wounded or in the process of building. We should take care of them, not dispose of them. It should not be on account of the individual and his individual plight and personal stories. Beside all that is beside what Abraham did, giving charity unconditional. That's a different story. We're talking about reaching endeavor, human endeavor, following Elohim, but not forgetting Hashem. All right. I'm trying to draw some conclusion from our classes and into today's sermon. So we understand now a little more of the value of the. So that story is presented to us in the Bible as a task, as a challenge to overcome, as a trial. Elohim, everything Elohim made is for a trial. So the trial number one is to rule ourselves with the upper hand and following Elohim ways, or to follow Elohim ways, but to incorporate with it, to participate with it, the value of Hashem. So we are not against material achievement. There's no harm following the Torah. We want mankind, we understand mankind. The wisdom is given to us to achieve things. But the test, the trial is not to behave like an animal, being just good, but to elevate ourselves and to be very good. Okay. So now, what then would the shape of this government should be? You understand we need to develop a government that attuned to the value of the two attributes. But what kind of shape the government should be? We're not talking about theoretical things. We're talking about the real government. For that, we have God gave Adam commandment number 5, civil order, exemplified in the book of Genesis by the story of Jacob. So this civil order and justice is, what does it involve? What does it comprise of? Of judiciary system, legislative system, and presidential system, executive system. Not more and not less. All from the Bible. How? Judiciary system. Take it from Jacob, for injustice. We discuss it. Learn Torah, learn the Talmud, drawing conclusion. But mankind can come up with a fine judiciary system, not just from the drawing from the Talmud. They can do it on their own, because the sense of justice is inside us. And the commandment number 5 tells us in detail, it's a commandment. It's a positive commandment. It's a commandment to step up and do something. All the other commandments are negative. Don't kill, don't commit adultery, and so on. Do not, do not, do not. The only positive one, step up and do something. And by this you come closer to Hashem. And stepping up and doing something is to establish civil order and justice. In detail, it commands us to set up court in every district. It commands us to put in a court learned justices, not just a person who is nice on the TV, a person who is known to be a just person who knows law. And number 3, as I follow the Rambam, is to set up a loyal, faithful police system. It will enforce the law. That's part of the commandment number 5. That's judiciary system. What about legislative system? And what about kingship? Jacob had to go down to Egypt to see Joseph as a king. And Joseph will implement Jacob's justice into kingship, into the reality. That's one model. Secondly, if you look at the commandment, number 1, it says, I am the essence of God, Hashem Elohim, the attribute. And that's line number 2. Number 3, who took you out of Egypt? I am the one who intervened in history. I am the king. 3 line, essence. The sovereign is me, I am. Number 2 is a legislative. Number 2, Hashem Elohim, is 2 parties debating each other. It's a Congress. It's a legislative. They debate what the law would be. The merciful one, the Elohim one, and there are many other attributes. They all debate, but basically those 2. Amazingly 2, and the Torah emphasizes 2. So here is a legislative body of 2 parties debating The attribute, that attribute means the way the way of controlling the world, anhaga. When Hashem sits on the throne of mercy, it means that He rules the world, rules the universe with this method, or this anhaga, this way of mercy, or way of din, the other way around, by the upper end, justice. So any attribute means actually, when we talk about attribute of Hashem, is that that's the way He rules. So the parties in the legislative debate how to rule, what kind of law instruction to give to the king in the White House. So, in other words, the Torah tells us not only that we need to be a democratic government, and not only how we need to elect our president and how the whole sovereign, the whole ruling body, even the Congress is elected. The sovereign is me, I am. In the case of American people are the sovereign. And the Congress is these two parties that debates what to do. One inclined to that philosophy, one inclined to the opposite philosophy. And once they come to a common conclusion, which is presented by Jacob, so to speak, and it filters out, Jacob give it to Joseph to implement it in the world. So the president draws his instruction from the Congress, and he has a tremendous job. He has to translate those decisions into reality, into the politics of the day. You need to understand what people need, what people want. He has instruction from the Congress, but the Congress sometimes doesn't really attune to the fine detail of what people really need. That's the job of the president. He knows how to execute it successfully to reach the goal of the country, to manage his job. So he needs no instruction, but he himself needs to be one who understands the two sides of him. On one hand, he gets the instruction from above. On the other hand, he needs to know how to implement it in a democratic way, to please his own, to please the real sovereign, which is the one who elected him, the public. He needs to be that kind of Nimrod before he became a dictator. I'm going back now to many years ago, Wendell Jones standing there. This was the last speech he gave. Not a big crowd. We have a small room, relatively small room, maybe 50 people. Closest to him. He was already sick. He could hardly stand. He could hardly speak. I remember walking around him in the whole convention. And usually we laughed, we spoke. He was sitting depressed. And here comes the moment he's in this small room. He stood up and asked to speak. Or he was planning to speak. Suddenly, he regained his old maneuver, old tone, strong voice that usually infiltrated your heart, the sincerity and the love of Hashem that he had. And he spoke. He had a few pages printed, and he read him. His voice was strong, maybe recorded somewhere. I have the pages in my home right here. I asked him, he gave me the paper that he held out here on the shelf here behind me. 657 pages. And he spoke about the founding father of this country. And the whole speech was that they were not really Christians, maybe exaggerated here, but basically he quoted many of the founding fathers, the Templars, whatever they were, but they believed openly in the seventh commandment of Noah. And when he spoke about it, he was so enlightened. He was like an old vendor. And he told us how the whole area, I call it, from White House to the Congress, the whole setup of the area was built in a Templar design. And they believed in the seventh commandment of Noah. So the founder of our father, of this country, drove their conclusion how to set up this government based on the Torah. So it's not incidental that they follow this structure. Democracy, but not a democracy in European model. They developed their own model based on the Torah. He almost wept when he said that. I remember it's very close to him. And he said this is the first country in the universe that recognizes the seventh commandment and based is the government on the seventh commandment. No other country has followed that path. After him, well, it was actually before, I don't know, before he passed away, President Bush, the first Bush, the father asked the Congress to pass the resolution that the moral law of this country is predicated based on the seven law of Noah. I have it on my site there, internet. The President Bush, famous one, declaration signed by President Bush and declared by the Congress. The first country in the universe that openly recognized the seventh commandment of Noah as a moral base of this country. And as we dive it into detail more and more, I just presented the surface. But as we dive into it more and more, we can see how deep it goes. So in this day, awesome day, with million people watching all over the world, how the power passed from one president to another over the cup of tea. no tanks, no shooting. It's two presidents sitting with their wives over a cup of tea. Have you seen anything like that in the entire universe? So let the Torah guide us, continue to guide us to a different world so that we can become not just good. It's easy to get good in an okay way to build efficiently all kind of system. The fight is to achieve things, not forgetting or to say incorporating the value of Hashem into this endeavor and to move on to become very good and to see the next day.